I'm going to be taking the Special Ed Preschool Praxis 5691 in a few months, and I'm going to start studying. I'm going to give you a portal walkthrough of what I use, which is study.com. Now, I know I'm going to pass the first time, and how do I know this? Because I use study.com to help me pass the ESL Praxis, and I passed the first time with flying colors. My daughter used study.com to pass the TEAS nursing exam. She only gave herself a 2-week window to study for this, and most people study for months, and she passed the first time. It gives you an overview of the course. Here's a syllabus you can come and read if you want to know all about it. They give you information about the actual tests. There's 130 questions, did response, in other words, multiple choice. Time limit 2 hours, and the Praxis exam cost is $120. All kinds of things. You can come to the website and look at this. They have practice questions. Now, this is something new. They actually used to have like a set amount of questions, and it took a long time to do each practice things, but now you can just practice a few at a time. Love that. Tests in this course. So you can take a practice test, practice as if you're taking the Praxis. When I did this, when I was studying for the ESL Praxis, they would have different questions each time you would take this practice test, because there could be a number of things on them. The overview. So you come here, you can start. I'm going to start with lesson 1. What is the Praxis? So they have Praxis registration, how to pass the Praxis, and then number 2 looks like cognitive language and language development. Why does it say that some of them I've already passed? Well, study.com cross-references. So in other words, I took the ESL Praxis. I've actually taken a few other classes on the site, just continuing education, things I wanted to learn. So if you've already passed an exam that has, or a quiz that has the same material as another one of their courses, then it automatically shows up when you take that course. So you don't, if you've already known and shown you can do the information, it's not going to make you take it again. So that's the only reason that it's showing that I've passed some of these quizzes, even though I'm just starting to study for this exam. I'm going to start with one that I haven't even done yet. Let's see, stages of cognitive development. Actually, I did take a class, I'm taking a master's program all about this topic. So I'm not going to make you sit through the video, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of the video.
Janie is 6, and she has really curly hair. She's noticed that when she takes a bath and her hair gets wet, it looks longer. She thinks this is really cool. She believes that her hair literally grows when it gets wet and shrinks upon drying. She asks her mother one day if keeping her hair wet for longer will help it stay long when she dries. Her mother laughs and explains to a disappointed Janie that when curly hair gets wet, it straightens out and looks longer. Her hair doesn't actually grow when it's wet. Janie has trouble understanding this because she's at a stage of cognitive development where it's hard for her to imagine the same volume of a substance, in this case her hair, can be shaped very differently. Psychologist Jean Piaget did a lot of work to define these stages.
Almost 1-minute example of what one of their videos would look like. All right, so I've already learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to take this quiz. I did not look at this quiz ahead of time when I came live with you, so I potentially could embarrass myself about what I do or do not know. I'm pretty confident because I did take a class in this pretty recently. In the concrete operational stage, a child will learn that. Okay. A child would be more successful in an algebra class if she had reached which stage of cognitive development? How have some studies of cognitive development challenged Piaget's 4-stage model? I think this one. Let's see. A child who is just beginning to understand that others may think differently than them is which stage? A game of peekaboo entertains infants because... This one, yes. Oh, I got 100%. See, that's great. I did just take this recently. Go to the next lesson. I think the next lesson might have been one I already passed. You have to go to the overview to see what quizzes you've already passed. Yeah, I thought so. I thought I'd already passed number 3. So also, one thing you should know, not only do they have the video, but they do have it where you can read the transcript of the video. Maybe for whatever reason, you learn better by reading and seeing, or maybe you do both. But also maybe you're somewhere where, let's say you're on a train or plane and you don't have headphones or something and you can't watch the video. You could come over here and just read all of it. Come over here to the quiz. You also can come here and study the quiz either before you take it, or if you get some things wrong and you want to study it, or you just want to print the quiz out for later or save it in a Word doc. You can either print it without the answers or with the answers. So if you come over here, look, it gives you the answers. So if you want to use this as a study guide, you can do that too. So they have tutors standing by to help if you want help with the test. So you can write something that you need help with. Let's go back to the quiz. Again, I didn't study this ahead of time, but I have taken some college courses in this. Making associations, all of them. 60. See, okay, here's one where I just want to make sure that you knew that I wasn't faking it when I said that. So you can read the answer explanation, but you can also click here. That takes you not only to the video, but it takes you straight to the part of the video that answers that question. I absolutely love this. There are other ways to study, but they involve huge, thick books that you have to read. Who has time for that? Number one, because when I studied for the ESL Praxis, I was busy. So I would just watch the videos while I was doing other things. Sometimes, doing dishes. Sometimes I would just watch a whole bunch of videos, then go back later when I had time to sit down and do the quizzes. That also would help you to see if that got to your long-term memory. My learning style does so much better with those quick 5-minute videos. I suspect I have undiagnosed ADHD, though I've never had a formal diagnosis. My daughter has had a formal diagnosis, and those short video lessons help her so much, especially if you're visual and audio. You can also hear it, but even if you learn better by sight, they have the option to read. I highly recommend study.com for studying for your special ed preschool, early childhood, 5691 Praxis. Now, if you use the link in my description box, you can get a discount. So click on the link, then they'll know that I sent you there, and you'll get a discount on using study.com. You can try it out, and I will link here both videos about me passing the ESL Praxis and my daughter passing the TEAS nursing exam the first time.